Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Halfcourt Headlines. I'm Andrew. Aiden unfortunately couldn't make it today, but I think he'll be back relatively soon. He's got schoolwork and stuff. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. Today we're going to be talking about contenders and non-contenders in the NBA. I know it's been like 2 months since the last episode, but we got busy. School work came up, and then break. I don't know. It all became kind of hectic, but we are back here for episode 16, and we're gonna have a good one today. So starting off in the Eastern Conference, who do I think are contenders? Let's start from the bottom to the top. The Detroit Pistons, non-contenders. I like what they have. They have Bojan Bogdanovic. They got Sadiq Bey. They got Jaden Ivey. They got um, Jalen Duran. They got a few other players, a few other pieces. I like what they have there. Unfortunately, they're a couple years off from becoming contenders, but they have a few young, promising pieces. I like what they have there. And Cade Cunningham is going to be good in the future. So, overall, a solid young little team, but they should be tanking this year for Victor, and that's what they're doing. So, the Detroit Pistons are non contenders. The Charlotte Hornets, non-contenders. Obviously, with the record 13-36, not very good at all. They made the play-in the last 2 seasons, so definitely can make it. They've definitely shown they can make it with those pieces. Unfortunately, without Bridges, you're not going to go far, and obviously, it hasn't translated to any wins here. Overall, though, just like the Pistons, they have some young pieces I like. LaMelo Ball, obviously, they got McDaniels, Jalen McDaniels, he's good. They have Mark Williams, he's been solid, and they have a few other pieces, Terry Rozier, all those other guys. Overall, playing not bad at all. Obviously, they're not winning a lot of games, but the young players are doing well. I think they're developing. I like what they have there, but non-contenders for the Hornets. The Orlando Magic, non-contenders, but this team is going to be coming up pretty soon. I would say, if not this year, the next year they'll be in that little playing echelon with a few other young pieces that they're going to mix in here and there. Overall, I think Paolo Banchero, he's had a good year. They have a bunch of other guys too. I really like. Yeah, Jalen Suggs has played well. Franz Wagner has also played well. Wendell Carter, that's a surprise there. He's been playing well too. Um, Jonathan Isaac just made his return about a couple of days ago. 2 years return from that, but he's always solid. He's always a really good piece, and he's only 25 years old, so definitely got a lot more NBA years left in him. No question about that. And Cole Anthony also, you can't forget him. He's really underrated. Yeah, I would say this team not there yet, but a few more pieces, few more players, and they'll be a contender in the plan. The Toronto Raptors, I don't know. They are technically in the plan, but they just haven't been winning. So I'm gonna call them contenders, just based on the fact that they have Pascal Siakam probably playing his best years this year. He's playing out of his mind right now. I think he has like 23, 24 points. That's absurd. This man is on a different level right now. Fred VanVleet, good as ever. Gary Trent, also underrated. And Gary Trent's pretty young, too. So they've got a lot more uses of him. OG Anunoby, another good player. Another good defensive player. So they'll be a force for sure. I don't know. They just got to get more wins. But overall, I would say the Raptors are a contender. And Scotty Barnes, haven't even mentioned him. And he's always good as ever. So the Raptors, they are contenders. The Washington Wizards. That's a weird one. I'm gonna say they're non-contenders just based on the fact that they traded away Rui Hachimura, and if you trade away one of your players, sure he wasn't playing, but he definitely would have helped you. I don't know. I think the Wizards, they're just not there yet, despite having Beal, Kuzma, Porzingis, all those guys. And they got a couple young players sprinkled in there. Denny Advia. Um, they got a couple other players. Will Barton, Kendrick Nunn, um, DeLon Wright, Taj Gibson, all those guys. I mean, I think they're gonna contend for the play-in. I just don't know if they're gonna contend like in the actual Eastern Conference. They have good players. I just don't think it's gonna translate to winning. Unlike the Raptors, who basically 1 through 5, they all have positions that can score and stuff. So, in my opinion, I think the Wizards they are non-contenders, but it could change if they make a trade or two. Next up, we have the Chicago Bulls, and my honest opinion on them is they've underachieved so much this year. 22 and 25, they should honestly be fourth or fifth in the conference with the amount of talent they have. Overall, though, I'm not really sure. I think Zach LaVine, he's kind of underachieved this year. Only, I don't even know if it's underachieving. I just don't think he's been playing that well. Um, but yeah, they have players that can definitely ball, definitely hoop out. No question about that. DeMar DeRozan, Patrick Williams, Zach LaVine, Desumnu. I like him. He's been playing all right. And then Vooch has also been playing good. Overall, though, not really sure. I think the Bulls are non-contenders, but they make a few more trades. It could happen. I don't know. I just think they're just going to be overmatched. All these players on the team are they're fine, but they're not. I don't know if they're gonna get you a championship without a real trade that's gonna push you over the top. So, in my opinion, I think the Bulls they're non-contenders despite being in that little playing spot right there. The Indiana Pacers, 24 and 25 as of today, January 25th. Overall, they've had a really good year. I like what they've done. They've brought a lot of young players up. Benedict Mathurin. You have Miles Turner probably having the best year of his career. And you also have a bunch of other players. Tyrese Halliburton, he's playing good so far. He's having, I think, one of his best years. And it's like his 3rd year, so he's going to have a lot more years like that. They got a lot of young pieces. This is a little young, scrappy team. I'm not really sure what direction they're going to take because at the beginning of the season, everyone, including me, was predicting them to have a terrible, terrible year. You know what happened after that? They kept on winning and winning and winning. They kept surprising everyone. Yeah, I had them 15th in the Eastern Conference, so I wasn't expecting them to play well at all. And here we are. And the Pacers are right in the thick of it, 24 and 25. So, I don't know. I think it's like a coin flip because you don't really know what you're going to get with these guys. Yeah, Nemhard, he's having a good year too. Buddy Hield also, I almost forgot to mention him. He's playing well too. Yeah, all these guys, they're fine. Only thing is, I don't know if it's going to translate to the playoff. I'm going to say non-contender for now, but if they keep winning, they're going to be contenders. So, Indiana Pacers are non-contenders. The Atlanta Hawks, they are contenders. Yes. A little bit of underachieving from them. They haven't really met up to the expectations that they were kind of placed on. I had them like all the way at 4th in the East, so I definitely thought with DeJounte Murray and a couple other players they were gonna just skyrocket up. But I guess a couple other players, a couple other teams kind of leapfrogged them there. However, I think they're definitely gonna be there. I think they're definitely a team that's gonna be there to stay. They have all the pieces to make the playoffs. Trae Young, good as ever. DeJounte Murray, really good player. DeAndre Hunter, he's really emerged this year. John Collins taking a little step back this year, not as good as everyone thought he was gonna be, but he's still solid. He's still an option at the 4. And Clint Capella, he's a great defensive force. AJ Griffin and Jalen Johnson have both stepped up, and you have Double O Onyeka Okongwu there. So this is a roster that I can definitely see making the playoffs. They just gotta capture a few more W's and they'll make the playoffs. So the Atlanta Hawks are contenders. The New York Knicks. Let's see. So I know they've definitely been on a little hot streak as of late. They've been winning a good amount of games. Yeah, 5-5 in the last 10, but they were hot before today. Ooh, yeah, maybe not. Either way, though, I think the story of this season for the Knicks has been the emergence of Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson just balling out. Everyone thought he was going to be a flop because he just played well randomly in that one postseason. But then out of the blue, here he comes and he keeps scoring in bunches. It's really incredible how he's basically turned his entire season, his entire career around, if you want, after that playoff season. And yeah, he's gonna be a perennial point guard that you can always trust on. And I like what he's doing. 22.3 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 6.2 assists on 47% shooting. So this man, he's living up to that contract. And you also have Julius Randle, who's playing well. Also, he's balling out as of late. RJ Barrett, haven't really heard of him all that much this year, but he's scoring 20 points a game. So kind of an underrated little shooting guard, small forward, wing type player. Overall, though, I think this team has what it takes to make the playoffs. They just gotta stay consistent, get a few more wins, and they should be there. Yeah, they're basically in the 1 through 6 spot out of the play-in. So this team is for sure a contender and for sure a playoff team if things stay the way they're doing, and I think they will. Next team on there, the Miami Heat. I was gonna call them a non-contender before they went on this little win streak. Yeah, 7 out of the last 10. But I think as of late, this team is a contender. I think everything is falling right in all the spots that they want it to be. Tyler Hero playing well as ever, living up to that contract, the 5-year. Jimmy Butler playing well as well. And then you also have Bam Adebayo, who you could argue he's playing the best ball of his career. Yeah, 22, 10 rebounds on 54 shooting. Yeah, this man is playing really well for a pretty young center. And they have a bunch of bench options, a bunch of young players, and Duncan Robinson, who was locked down in the pandemic. You add him in, and this team basically is a contender. Only thing is, though, I'm not really sure how far they can go, but I think they're definitely a playoff team. They just gotta stay consistent and win a few more games, and they should be there. So overall, I'm gonna call the Miami Heat a playoff contender. The Cavs, yeah, the Cavs are for sure contenders. They used to be really hot, and now I'm pretty sure they've gone on a bit of a cold streak. Yeah, 4 out of their last 6, so not the best, not the worst, but they were on top a few days ago. Overall, though, I think that Donovan Mitchell trade at the beginning of the season was the move to do because he scored, I'm pretty sure, 70-something a few weeks ago. Let's see. Yeah, he didn't break Kobe's record, but 71 points. He didn't break Kobe's record, but it was pretty damn near close. This man was on an absolute tear. I think he was definitely the move. If you get a strong 2 position, you're going to go places. Darius Garland playing well. Also, Evan Mobley doing his thing. And Jared Allen, great defensive force. Overall, it's a very young team with a lot of potential, a lot of upside. I love what they're doing there. I love the team that they built around. And they have a bunch of bench pieces, too. Don't even forget Karis LeVert. I feel like everyone forgets him. Kevin Love coming off the bench. Lamar Stevens, he's been fine. Yeah, you got a bunch of guys. Chetty Osman, Robin Lopez. You got a bunch of young little bench pieces and a starting 5. I love what they have there. And I think the Cavs, from here on out, I think they're going to be a perennial contender. The Brooklyn Nets, yeah, for sure, gonna be a playoff contender. Only thing is though, they're gonna be missing Kevin Durant for, I believe it's like 2 more weeks or something. So it might hurt them. They've been 5-5 in the last 10, so kind of okay, kind of an okay team. But overall, I mean, I think the Nets are playing some of the best basketball in a long time. They started off kind of slow, and as soon as they got Kyrie and KD coming back, they just rattled off so many wins. So you have KD and Kyrie in the mix, you're going to be in a good position. No question about that. And also, I forgot to mention, I think a player that everyone underrates, Nick Claxton. This man has been a lockdown defender, the absolute role that you want on as a center. Yeah, 13 points, not going to score a lot, but let's look at his actual stats, his blocking stats. I'm pretty sure he's gotten like 3 blocks a game, which, yeah, 2.7 blocks a game. This man is on an absolute tear on the defensive end, and if you have a strong defensive center who's only 23, so he's going to be there for a while. If you have a strong defensive center like Nick Claxton, then you're going to be in a good spot, and I really like what they have there. And I feel like another player that everyone underrates, Yuta Watanabe. This man has been playing really well this year. One of the best years of his career. And he's been shooting the ball really well, 52% from the field. And from three-point land, he's been shooting 48% from three. So Yuta Watanabe, another player to look out for. I like what they have in him. And he's a very scrappy player. You need those type of players on a team if you want to make the playoffs. Hey. The Brooklyn Nets, they are contenders. Next up, the Milwaukee Bucks. Don't even need to go into an introduction there. The Bucks, they are contenders. The Bucks, Giannis was injured for a little bit, but he's back now. Yeah, Giannis, Chris Middleton, I don't know if he's been playing that much, but from what I've seen, I'm pretty sure he's playing some good basketball. Another player that's been playing all out as of late, Jrue Holiday. Jrue Holiday is on fire. He was on a hot streak as of late, but he's been doing his thing. And I think if you just plug in a different guy, then you're gonna see different results, and that's what you get with Jrue Holiday coming from the Pelicans to the Bucks a few seasons ago. Yeah, overall, this is a perennial contender. Javon Carter stepped up. Good addition there. Same with Joe Ingles knocking down all those threes. Overall, though, perennial contender. You're going to have that with a player like Giannis, who is having another good year. Yeah, I shouldn't even say good because that's what he's been doing basically the last 5 years, just going all out. And that's what you're going to get with a team in Giannis's prime. So, overall, Milwaukee Bucks, they are contenders. Next up, Philadelphia 76ers. This team has been hot as of late. And I've witnessed this firsthand as they beat down on my Clippers a few nights ago. Yeah, the Sixers, no question about it. They are contenders, okay? You have Embiid. Who else you got? You got Harden playing really well. You got Tyrese Maxey. And you got a few other little players in there. Shake Milton, Matisse Thybulle. You got all these little players that can all help you out. And the Philadelphia 76ers are for sure contenders. They've won the last 5 games, 8-2 out of the last 10. So overall, the Sixers, they're here to stay. And I think if they make 1 or 2 more trades, they're going to be maybe pushing the boundaries of the Boston Celtics. We'll see. But yeah, overall, Sixers, they are contenders. Last team here, the Boston Celtics. Celtics, best record in the East, for sure a contender. The only problem with them is they've been a little injury riddled, but when fully healthy, best record in the NBA. And I think if you just stay healthy, that's the key to their success. If you stay healthy, then you will be in a good spot. They're missing Marcus Smart for a while. Same with Jaylen Brown. He's been out for a little bit. Overall, though, fully healthy, Jason Tatum, Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Robert Williams, Al Horford, all those guys. It's a recipe for success, and we've seen it. So I expect this team to go very far in the playoffs. I had them as my number 1 pick for the number 1 seed in the playoffs to start the year. And I stand by that. So I think the Celtics, best year so far. Now let's look at the West, the Western Conference standings. Let's see what we got here. So starting from the bottom to the top, we have the Houston Rockets. Now, starting off with the Rockets, what do I think about them? I don't know. To be honest, I think the Rockets, they're really disorganized. They've got young pieces, sure, but this team is out. They're not going to make any moves. They're just going to hold the course, and they're going to tank for Victor Wembanyama. And overall, I think that's the right move. You add Victor to this team, it'll be definitely deadly. Yeah, in a few years' time, you have Victor in the mix, and you have Jalen Green. Who else you got? You got Jabari Parker. Overall, I like the little squad that they have there. It's definitely a sneaky little team, and I expect them to be even better 2-3 years, and they'll be a contender by then. But right now, Houston Rockets, they're way out of it. And yeah, not going to make it far. You only do this little bully ball, little wreck type of basketball. But yeah, very sneaky team. They'll give any team a hard night. So yeah, that's just the type of young team that you want that's out of the playoffs. But overall playing not the best, but the players there are playing pretty good. For the Spurs, they're out of it. They're not contenders. The thing with them, though, is they have not a lot of young talent. I would say, like, not a lot of high young talent. Sure, they have talent, but, like, not a lot of high young talent. Keldon Johnson, he's fine, I guess. Yeah, you have other players like Romeo Langford, Jeremy Sohan. He's been playing all right. And Trey Jones. All those guys are playing well. Overall, though, I don't know, dude. I think they just need some more players. They need, like, higher echelon young players instead of these little mid-young role players. Overall, though, I think if you get Victor Wembanyama, you're in a good spot to contend in a few years. Yeah, just the Spurs, they need to load up on young talent, keep going, and it should be in a good spot. But overall, the Spurs, they're out of it. Now for the Lakers, let's see. Now with this team, I really want to say non-contenders, but with the move they got for Rui Hachimura, who's very promising young player, just the type of player the Lakers needed. If you get him, I think this move makes the Lakers a contender. You have LeBron, you have Westbrook, you have Anthony Davis, Rui Hachimura, you got Thomas Bryant, Dennis Schroeder. You got all these players who, in my opinion, are pretty solid players. LeBron and AD especially, when healthy. You don't want to mess with them. I think the Lakers, they are contenders. Only problem for them is they're not winning games. You saw last night, LeBron scored 46. Still wasn't enough to beat the Clippers. Yeah. Overall, though, I think this team is trying to win. They want to win. Because if they lose, they don't have their pick. So you want to win, because if you don't win, then that pick is going to the Pelicans in that Anthony Davis trade. And that is not good at all. So you definitely want to win. And I think that's what they're trying to do. So this little trade here with Rui Hachimura is the right move to make. And he scored 30 points a few nights ago. So can definitely score. A lot of people forgot what he can do. But yeah, when he has the ball in his hands, he's a deadly force for sure. So look out for them. But overall, I think the Lakers, they are contenders. Yeah, playoff contenders for sure. Trying to make the playoffs. It would be hard not to with a team like LeBron, Schroeder, Patrick Beverley, all those guys. So yes, I think the Lakers, they are contenders. Next team, the Portland Trailblazers. Early on, I thought they were contenders. Right now, though, I think They've kind of been on a slide recently. I think they just have to stay stay close, and they just have to like win these little close games. That's really all it comes down to. Simons, and for me, Simons, he's been playing probably the best basketball of his career as of late. I think he's been playing exceptionally well this year, and I think the Blazers, they have a nice little team. I'm just not sure they can make the playoffs. I'm sure they can sneak in over a team like Minnesota or Utah even. Um, but overall, I think they just need like a couple more trades and then they're going to be a contender. But right now, as it stands, I don't think they're a contender, but I think they definitely can be. Actually, no, I'm going to change that. I think the Portland Trailblazers, they're contenders for sure, and they just need a few more trades to make them really legit. So, yeah, the Lakers and the Trailblazers, they are contenders. They just have to do a few more things, a few more tweaking, and they will be playoff contenders there. Now, next team, the OKC Thunder. This is a nice little surprise upset team here. The Thunder. I love what they have here. They have a lot of young pieces, a lot of young players who are hungry to win, and they've been winning as of late. 7 out of the last 10. So the Thunder, they're on fire. They beat the Nuggets a few days ago. So they beat the top team in the conference. You know they can win. Only thing is, I don't know how sustained they can do it for, because they were supposed to be losing all these games at the beginning of the year, and then they just said, "Screw it, we're gonna win all these games." So I don't know. It's a little hard to judge because a team with like SGA, Josh Giddey, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, all these guys, and Chet Holmgren, who hasn't played, but he will be playing soon. I don't know if they're going to be losing anymore because they have just a team that's just so much potential, so much upside. Both Jalen Williams are playing well. Yeah, I don't really know where to judge them. I'm gonna put them in the non-contender spot for now, but let's say they make a trade or something and they get some solid players, then I'm gonna put them into a contender. But right now, as it stands, I think the Thunder, they're just playing a little above their weight limit for now. But if they make a few more trades, they get a better draft pick next year or this year. I mean, I think the Thunder for sure can be contenders. But yeah, the pieces are there, no question about that. They just gotta keep winning, and they gotta get the right players, which they do. SGA is playing at an all-star level, so yeah, I think overall this is a nice little sneaky team. In a few years, you're gonna look back on and be like, oh yeah, all this potential is finally paying off. And overall, I think they're the right team, right management, right team moving forward. So the Thunder, great step in the right direction. Next team moving up, the Golden State Warriors. Yeah, the reigning NBA champions, kind of slumping as of late, but overall, they're contenders. Yeah, sure, you've had a couple of players be injured, but I think they're all back now. Clay, Poole, Curry, Wiggins, Green, all those guys are back. This team should start to win more games now that everyone's kind of in a groove now and everyone is all set. Overall, though, I think, yeah, definitely a contender. Some players that have kind of surprised me. Anthony Lamb has been playing well. Didn't really know who he was until this year. DiVincenzo, he's been pretty good. That's a good get for them. Kuminga, he's been playing well. Moody also. They have young pieces, and that should help them to be a perennial contender, just like all these other teams that we've been talking about. But yeah, overall, the Warriors, they're here to stay. Warriors are contenders. Minnesota Timberwolves. This team has definitely been underachieving, especially with the type of roster they have. They have Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert, kind of a little twin towers, two bigs that a lot of teams were trying to do. You saw with the Lakers, they had Andre Drummond and Anthony Davis. So, I mean, it hasn't really worked. Rudy Gobert, he's not there to score you points. He's just there to block some shots for you, and he's been doing that for the most part. Overall, though, I'm gonna call them non-contenders. I feel bad for saying that, but they've just been underachieving for so long. I expected them to be like a lot higher. Let's see where I had them. I know it did the predictions. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. I had I had the Timberwolves in the 7th spot. And right now they're in the 9th spot. So wasn't far off. Yeah, the talent is there. I'm just not sure it's going to translate to the playoff. Well, they're probably going to make the plan. I just don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. I'm going to call them non-contenders for now. I feel bad for saying that, but um, yeah, they just got to win some more games and stay healthy. That's the only thing you can do. But overall, I really loved what they have there. I think Anthony Edwards, he's going to be, if he isn't already a star, he's going to be a superstar. I think Anthony Edwards is good of a basketball player as anyone. I kind of doubted him coming into the NBA, but he's definitely backed it up. Yeah, he's going to be good. Naz Reid, he's been playing well. He's kind of a little surprise addition for them. Jaden McDaniels, he's been all right. Overall, they've got young pieces from that trade they made with the Wolves, or that trade they made with the Jazz. So overall, I'm gonna say non-contender for now, but a few more wins, a few more couple trades here and there. I think the Timberwolves, they will be contenders. The Utah Jazz, I'm gonna say non-contender. I think they've been probably the biggest surprise of the NBA season, probably next to the Indiana Pacers to start the year off. Um, the Jazz, they were just firing on all cylinders. They have all these players left and right shooting perfectly. All this is kind of astounding to me. And then they've kind of fallen back to earth. Um, I will say though, they have some young players who I definitely think can be something in the future. Lauri Markkanen, I thought at the beginning of his career he was going to be this really good player. Hasn't really done it, but now he's starting to play like an all-star. Overall, Lauri Markkanen, he's the real deal. Malik Beasley, he's been playing pretty good. Jordan Clarkson, 6 Man of the Year a few years ago, he's been playing well. Also, I'm just not sure they're going to make the playoffs. I think they'll make the plan. We'll see if they decide to lose some games. Um, Overall, though, I think right now, as it stands, the Jazz are non-contenders just based on the fact that you have teams like the Lakers, the Blazers, the Warriors, and the Suns all basically in the same spot as you. So I'm gonna say non-contender for now. It feels bad. Um, the team isn't hitting on their cylinders like they used to be doing, but overall, very admirable year for them. I think if they lose games here, it was a pretty solid year for them. Next team up, the Phoenix Suns. I think the Suns, they are contenders. I'm not really a Suns. I don't really like the Suns here. I think they have a lot of unlikable players, but they are contenders. You got Devin Booker. He's good as ever. You have DeAndre Ayton, who's been a little shaky and a little injured as of late, but he's been playing pretty good. Chris Paul. Chris Paul's Chris Paul. He's been playing well. And you have Mikal Bridges. He's been playing probably some of the best basketball of his career. Yeah, I really love how he's playing. And you have Cam Johnson. Really like a lot of young talent. They have young talent. That's not a doubt. The only thing is that they're missing a few of their players. Payne is out. Shaman is out. Booker is going to be out for a while, I'm pretty sure. Let's see. yeah, they're just gonna. I think they're just gonna play it safe with that. But yeah, Devin Booker's out, and they really need Chris Paul to really win some games. We've seen it. I don't know. If they don't get Devin Booker back, I think they're definitely in trouble. I'm just gonna call them contenders for now because I mean they're the Suns. They have talent there. All they're missing is just their star player who's been injured. Overall, though, I'm gonna call them contenders, and yeah, I think they're pretty solid. Next team up, the Dallas Mavericks. Luka Magic. Yeah, they're contenders for sure. I don't think they're gonna make it far in the playoffs, but they're definitely gonna make the playoffs. You have Luka balling out. Luka, he was on a tear a month ago or so, and yeah, he's just been balling out. This team is basically Luka and Christian Wood. A few other players sprinkled in there, but overall, the Dallas Mavericks, they're contenders. One player I like for the Mavericks, Hardy, Jaden Hardy. I like what he has. He's gonna be pretty solid, if not next year, but a few years down the road. So overall, I think Jaden Hardy, he's gonna be good. Yeah, they have some solid pieces. Overall, though, not a lot of help for Luca, but I think just with Luca alone, you should be in a good spot to make the playoffs. So yeah, the Mavs, they're gonna make the playoffs. Next team, my Los Angeles Clippers. A lot of things to say about them. I could spend an hour talking about the Clippers, but I won't. Overall, though, I think the Clippers are contenders for sure. We're now finally seeing Kawhi Leonard and Paul George finally start to mesh, finally start to play well. And they're not missing games, which you love because I feel bad for all these fans who just spent so much money on these tickets and their favorite player is out for injury or sitting out load management. But both these players are playing well. Norman Powell, he's been playing really well also. I think he had like 23 points last night against the Lakers. He's been doing that all year. So overall, having a great year. Norman Powell. A lot of people are saying 6 man of the year candidate. I'm all for it. Clippers love to pump out 6 man of the year like it's nothing. But yeah, overall, I think the Clippers, they're contenders. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George. You got Zubac. You got Morris. You got John Wall. Who's out? You have Luke Kennard. And you have John Wall. All these guys, they have so many options. All they're really missing is like a backup big, and they're like true contenders. So yeah, I think Clippers, they just need to keep playing as a team. They can't have their guys sit out for very long, or else they kind of lose all that kind of mojo and stuff, the good mojo. But yeah, overall, Clippers, they're contenders. And yeah, look out for them in the playoffs because once they get hot, it's going to be hard to stop them. Next team up, New Orleans Pelicans. Yeah, for sure contenders. Even without Zion, this team is a contender. I think they're missing Brandon Ingram too, which is absurd. They're 26 and 22. Yeah. So Zion is going to be out for at least 2 more weeks. That's what they said yesterday. Yeah, Ingram is out. So it's basically CJ McCollum, Herbert Jones, Trey Murphy, Jonas Valanciunas, obviously. Yeah, and a few other guys sprinkled in there. Even with CJ McCollum, this team is a contender. They just have so much young talent. It's really fascinating to see. And they own the Lakers pick this year from the Anthony Davis trade. So, yeah, overall, I'm going to call the Pelicans a contender. With Ingram and Zion, this team, yeah, you can't even question it. That team is a contender. Just so much young talent oozing everywhere, in and out. You know, this team is going to be deadly in the playoffs if they get everyone back, which they should. So yeah, I think we're finally seeing the golden age of Pelicans basketball that they've been trying to have for so long. Next up, the Sacramento Kings. Yeah, who could have predicted this one? Obviously, I don't think anyone could. The Kings balling out. that Domantas Sabonis trade, I'm pretty sure it's been a win-win for both sides. Trading away Tyrese Halliburton for Sabonis, I think, yeah, it's definitely worked in their favor because obviously they're third in the West, 27-19. They were hotter, but I think they've cooled off a little bit, which is fine. But probably one of the best years in recent memory for the Sacramento Kings. I would say definitely like in the past decade plus. Yeah, the Kings, they're here to stay, I would say, as long as their players keep playing like they've been playing. Fox, Davion Mitchell, he's a good defender. Sabonis. You got, I feel like I'm missing a few other players. Kevin Huerter, he's been playing well. Harrison Barnes, Keegan Murray, a rookie, he's been playing good. Yeah, you have a young little team like this. I think they can definitely make some noise in the playoffs. We'll see, though. We'll see how everything pans out. But as it stands now, the Kings, they're contenders for sure. Yeah, overall, having just a great year. And I think we could see them winning a lot more games if they get like one more player. But yeah, overall, love what their head coach is doing there. I forgot his name. And I think their GM is doing a phenomenal job rebuilding that team. So yeah, the Kings, they're contenders. Grizzlies, obviously contenders. They've kind of slid a little bit, but the Grizzlies are the Grizzlies. They're playing. I just said, yeah. Yeah, the Grizzlies are the Grizzlies, okay? John Morant playing well. Desmond Bane, probably the best year of his career. Desmond Bane's been playing well. Steven Adams, he's there. Very solid center. You have a lot of guys who can give you minutes. Tyus Jones, he's a bucket. Dylan Brooks, yep. Jaren Jackson. All these guys, Zaire Williams also. It's kind of underrated too. Santi Aldama. All these guys, they have so many young pieces who can give you a bucket. And yeah, the Grizzlies, they're here to stay. They're going to be here for a while. I can feel it. So yes, Memphis Grizzlies, they are a perennial contender. Lastly, the Denver Nuggets. They're contenders as well. Jokic having another MVP type year. MPJ playing well. And you also have Jamal Murray, who's, I don't know, I feel like he's kind of like not played as well as people had thought. He thought he was going to be like a 30-point scorer. But 19 points a game, still admirable. KCP knocking down some threes as well. Aaron Gordon, another player you got to look out for. Yeah, overall, they've got all these players who can give you a bucket like the Grizzlies. I think the Nuggets are here to stay. Also, forgot to mention another underrated player who's up for the Sixth Man of the Year trophy, Bones Highland. I think a lot of people sleep on this man. But yes, they have so many players, so many young pieces. You just got to look out for. And overall, I think the Nuggets, they are contenders. So yes, overall, we're about, I would say, halfway through the NBA. And I would say for the most part, my picks are pretty solid. I don't know, though. I think there have been a lot of surprises, a lot of surprising teams. Some teams we thought were going to tank, other teams not so much. And yeah, overall, it's been a fun NBA season up to this point, and we'll see what happens after on the next edition of Half Court Headlines. That's going to have a new co-host, Tyler Brindley. He's going to be coming up soon. But yeah, fun times to be had. Yeah, stay tuned for the next one. Should be coming out sometime next week. But other than that, I hope you guys watching have a great rest of your day. Stay tuned for the next one. All right, I will see you guys around. Peace out.